Let's go! Ole Miss, Mississippi State. The Egg Bowl is the SEC's best rivalry. Comment down below if you agree. I really don't think there really is much of a debate because, man, I just love the vitriol. And obviously this game got very weird, okay? So, a big debate this offseason for Mississippi State. I'm just going to run this play for you, and then we'll break it down. What does Will Rogers want to do? And does Mississippi State even want him back? Up to this point, they've had 11 plays for only 6 yards. I don't want to show you the first couple of drives in this game because it would hurt your soul, okay? So Ole Miss has obviously shown something very exotic here on 3rd and 10. These two guys actually back out, and they're running a simulated pressure with this guy coming from the second level. Now, obviously, this is the best receiver for Ole Miss. I say Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Tutu Griffin, okay? And Will Rogers does throw with some anticipation, and the ball is getting out quick. You're obviously back in your own territory, so you don't want to strip sack. And this does look open, but it's not. This DB had outside leverage, and he was all over this. This is not open to me. If you actually look backside, Will Rogers had an absolutely massive play. So you look to the left side, there's a jam right here from this linebacker type, and it takes a while for him to get off of it. But take a look at this pocket. Will Rogers' inability to run really hurts him. If he just steps up into this and runs, this guy is getting all over him right here. But just stepping up into this pocket and actually looking to another option. Now, once again, that's a tough full field read to go from all the way over here to back over here. But if he does step up, bang, this is an absolute massive gain for at least 25 yards. All right, so we get to the 2nd and 4, and I just want to shout out good football, okay? This play won't show on any highlight reel, but first off, this protection is just amazing, right? This is Watson, one of the best linebackers in the country. He's twisting in, and this center actually peels off and picks it up. That is really good stuff to wash him, and then they also have a running back, and this is what pocket movement looks like. So Jaxson Dart moves here, and he actually takes a shot to one of his best receivers. And look at where he actually puts this football. In actually a really good spot by Wade, but man, this is such good safety play by Preston. Instead of just panicking and committing a pass interference penalty, he turns his head, shields him off, and almost makes that pick. That was a good job by Wade, breaking that up. But Preston, to me, is a Sunday player. I love doing sports media, but sometimes I wish I was actually part of a college football team. And the first thing I would do if I joined a team is if I am ever at midfield and it's 4th and 5 or less, I am at least trying to draw them off sides before I actually punt the football. Just take the delay of game penalty if you don't get it, and then bring your punt unit out. It's a free play. And the thing about it was Ole Miss actually jumped off sides earlier in the half. So they had already shown that, or early on, even on this drive, they already shown that they will jump off sides. All right, so we move ahead to here. This is one of the best runs of the season from Quinshon Judkins. It's a little cut off here, but this is just unbelievable stuff. This is a butt kiss finalist. He throws off of him, no big deal. And then breaks a few more tackles, no big deal. Still on his feet, no big deal. That is just big boy running right here. One of the best runs of the season. All right, so we get to this 3rd and 7. This call was not loved by Ole Miss fans. I loved it, right? Quinshon Judkins had the hot hand. Let's say you pick up 5 yards, you can just go for it on 4th. And they had been defending your pass well, and look at your numbers, okay? You motion a guy in, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to block 3, 4, 5, 6, and you also have Dart's ability to run, so they bring a safety in late, and guys just knife in here, okay? Zero does a good job reading this and just cuts to the inside. Maybe 67's job was to pick up Zero coming from the backside right here. And if he doesn't fly in here and make this play, Judkins is through, okay? So that missed block right here on the backside, he's probably getting this, right? 78 was able to get to that next level. That missed block right there, and I think 67 had a false start earlier in the half. That's probably scoring a touchdown, so or at least getting a first. That is a huge, huge call right there by Lane. It was a good one, and you guys should back off. 4th and 1, I love the aggression here. You're thinking it's going to be something short. You get an end around here to one of my favorite players in the SEC, Xavier Thomas. Man, I wish LSU got him. He is a big-time playmaker, and I think he's only going to get better. He does a good job getting around that edge, and he picks up this first down. Love, love, love the 4th down aggression. All right, here we go. Will freaking Rogers. I mean, this is really good stuff, and his first progression actually got kind of a jam, but because he was, the flat corner right here, he just let him go. Blitz pickup is really good, and you get a little lucky that your first read had nobody trailing him on this 3rd and 10. And just a big-time throw right there and a big-time catch by Will Rogers. Yeah, it was easy. They kind of gave it to you. And in that case, I just think Ole Miss got a little too exotic right there versus a struggling offense. All right, 3rd and 2, very conservative call. So, like the Quinshawn play earlier, you got a too high look right here. So, you should feel pretty good about running this. Now, I don't know if this was a handoff all the way or if this was a potential RPO. If it was an RPO, Will Rogers should pull this and just hit 81 right here for a huge gain. They were playing run the entire way. Okay, you see these linebackers are already running before this handoff was there. This is massive. So 81 missed twice in this first half. If you're hitting him, is he able to make him miss for a touchdown? I don't know. Also taking a shot right there. You're kicking the field goal anyway, and I'm also kind of shocked that Mississippi State elected to take this timeout like right now instead of, bringing it all the way down. So the kick is the last thing before the half. And, of course, the kicker missed it. And, it's a 3-0 halftime lead for Ole Miss. I mean, sometimes I just think Lane thinks Jaxson Dart is a better runner than he actually is. And, look, he is a really good runner. Where this play was made was, once again, Nathaniel Watson. He's as good as it gets, y'all. Just missing this center's block. That's a really difficult block for this center. And Dart, to me, is a fine runner, just not an elite one. And that wasn't going anywhere anyway, and it forces Ole Miss to punt. One of the plays of the season by one of the SEC's toughest backs, that is Jaquavius Woody Marks, okay? Play action fake. This was supposed to be, I'm guessing, some type of tight end leak right here, and they're ready for it, okay? So it's not there. And Will obviously isn't an improviser, and he's able to find Woody Marks here to the right side. And this is him just making a freaking play. And look at this hit that he takes. Bang! And he's still able to hold on to it for a first down. That's what the Egg Bowl's all about, baby. Dix is pumped up, but they got the first down. What are you doing? So this is actually the kind of stuff that Lane Kiffin is known for. Just a lot of delay, little wheel routes. So Xavier Thomas is coming on a drag, and then he's wheeling up. That is really hard to keep up with, especially if your corner is going with this receiver here. So all he's doing is just occupying the space that this corner deoccupied by going with this receiver. This is just such beautiful offense right here. Play action fake. Let's give Will Rogers a very easy completion. And even though there is a lot of pressure, Will Rogers does a good job stepping up and then finding the wide open Xavier Thomas, and he hits him right in the number. Now we get to here, and this play is just dead to rights. And sometimes winning a football game comes down to avoiding the disastrous plays. Once again, they're trying, a throw right here, and it's blown up. Ivy is a really good defensive lineman, experienced guy. How does Xavier Thomas get out of this? In this spot right here, would you have thunk that he was able to, squeeze his way out? Man, I wish he was an LSU Tiger. So, for those that don't know, Xavier Thomas is from New Orleans. I do my own Louisiana prospect rankings, obviously, and he was my number 2 overall player in the state of Louisiana when he was coming out. Either number 2 or number 3. I have to go back and look at it. It's a really good play design right here on 2nd and goal. They're thinking that Woody Marks is going to get this ball because Will Rogers isn't really much of a runner. So they're stunning to the left, and they just seal everybody to the left. Look at this block right there by Woody Marks. Bang! Just knocking 5 out the club, and then Will Rogers scores and gives Mississippi State the lead. So it's 3rd and 8, and there was a big fuss about Spencer Sanders going to Ole Miss to be the backup for Jaxson Dart. It's because Dart is a runner, right? He's not afraid to get his head in there. And I remember versus the LSU game last year, he had a run just like this one after, he missed Mingo for a touchdown on the play before, and he just got smashed right here. And he just had to fight through the pain because they didn't have a good backup. So, and Altmaier's okay at Illinois, but he's not Spencer Sanders. And this is why you got to have a good backup, because you could take a hit like that's clean. He stuck his head up right there, and that's just really scary right there. Very, very, very scary. And, it's part of it. All right, so Spencer Sanders is now in the game, and Ole Miss pulls both their left guard and left tackle, but they're running to the left. That is very confusing because when they're pulling, you think that they would be running to the right, and that's what makes this very hard to defend, right? And you have a chance to make this play as an unblocked player, but because it's so flat, it's just very, very tough, right? That's Lane's run schemes for you. Now, all right, so Jaxson Dart back into the game already. Very interesting. There was a holding, 1st and 20, and they're handing this off to Quinshon Judkins. As you can see, the pass rushers got very aggressive on 1st and 20, and they get all the yards back and then some after the holding penalty on the play before. So the ball right here is on the 25-yard line. Mississippi State runs a corner blitz. I do think they get away with an illegal man downfield penalty, and they do. That's past 3 yards right there. I don't know if his full body needs to be past the 3-yard mark, but since Dart saw the corner blitz, he throws his ball to a wide-open Trey Harris. You rules experts, please correct me on that, and that's a really, really, really good open field tackle. All right, so we move ahead to this 3rd and 1. Where I want you to watch is Sean Preston, a Louisiana DB, going up against Trey Harris, a Louisiana wide receiver. His job is to come kick out, block right here. Preston, and this is obviously not that good. I think Sean Preston had a chance to knife in here and make this play, and he just kind of sticks his head down and just hits him, right? I don't know why he just didn't knife in here and make this play, right? I know as a contained guy, I guess your responsibility would be Jaxson Dart, but if he's playing with his head up, he's able to knife in here and get him right here. I don't think Judkins is scoring. I still think he's picking up the first down. Obviously not a good block from a wide receiver, but Judkins does eventually score. All right, so we get to the 2nd and 9. This is one of the more bizarre runs. Right, the backup is in and want to get, some QB runs going. This is there. I mean, this isn't the best block in the world right here. He's able to spin off this block, and look, he's got all of this, and it just kind of looks like he stops. I don't really know what he was doing. I don't know if he was protecting his body, but it looks like there was a few more yards there. Let's go. A little break in the action. Love is in the air. John Parker with a belly full of turkey. Look at this. That tryptophan was not hitting him, boy. He was wide awake for this one. You want to support what we're doing here. We've had some of the best months we've ever had on this channel. Don't forget, you can always support with the Venmo Cash App. And look likely like, yeah, you go, girl. This looks like the same jacket that Chris Rock wore in Bring the Pain. All right, so we get to this 3rd and 6. Mississippi State have been 3 of 11 on 3rd downs before this play. Now, take a look at the time. 3:39 left to go. You're down 3, and your offense has been struggling. I'm going to trust Will Rogers here that nobody was open, and he's got some heavy pressure right here on his right side. He does this smart thing to step up. Is there anything open down the field? It's impossible for me to know, But where this play was actually made was number 15, Ivy. Okay, once again, a very active night for him. He's getting some A-gap pressure, but he notices he's starting to get washed upfield. So he turns back and retraces his steps. I've seen defensive linemen do this all season where they just keep going. You got to stop and retrace. And Will Rogers not being a great runner really hurts him right here because Ivy's able to chase him down and bring him down short of the line to gain. Now, Mississippi State should have gone for this. It's 4th and 1. You are down 3. So you're in a little bit more trouble than you probably think, especially considering your offense hasn't been doing that well. So you got to ask yourself with the Egg Bowl on the line, a bowl berth on the line, if you can't complete a 4th and 1 when you had already completed a 4th and 1 earlier in the game, well, you don't deserve to win this game anyway. And you don't have a good punter. Ole Miss gets the football in decent field position, and on the 2nd and 1, they obviously get an absolutely big run right here from Ulysses Bentley, and it's a first down. Now, the sign of a good OC is not doing something when it didn't work the first time. Mississippi State, this is an extremely light box, and since they are going to get exotic oftentimes on 3rd down, Ole Miss is going to do the same. So once again, they're pulling the left guard, pulling the left tackle, and they're running Quinshon Judkins. You see, this is a horizontal handoff, so it can ensure that the unblocked player can't catch him. So you're able to get around him without even blocking, and on this 3rd and 7, he still has to make a play. And this is still a very good run. Banks makes a huge mistake right here. You have got to know in this situation, you are the edge, right? And Quinshon would love to just take this up the sideline. So you have help in here. You have got to take on the outside shoulder of this tight end, and you'll see he peeks in and goes to the inside. And as you can see, Judkins is able to still get around. One trips, and I don't know exactly what happened here to Nathaniel Watson. He just kind of gives up and misses him, right? These are your 2 best linebackers, 2 best tacklers on the team. You make this play, they're likely going for it on 4th and medium, but they don't make this play. So a really tough night for Watson and Johnson. I know that they had played a bunch of snaps up to this point, but Judkins making them miss was able to gain a few extra yards. Lane Kiffin, unlike Mississippi State, elects to get very aggressive on 4th. And obviously this is a play or a variation of the play that LSU ran versus Alabama to win the game last season, okay? But instead of this guy being the out, it's actually a rub, right? So you're rolling out to the right side. Wade is going through here to create separation between him and this man coverage defender, and the job of this is to create separation for 11 to get wide open, and he's right there wide open for a big first down, and this is a sign that you know Lane has a good play call. He's running with it. So that is some really good stuff to be able to call that coming out of a break in the action. All right, so now we get to 3rd and 2. All right. The safety normally is responsible for a tight end leaking right up the middle. That's exactly what happens here. A good, hard play action fake. It's essentially a one-man route. This safety, I'm kind of shocked, did not see this leakage right here, and he should pick up this guy. I don't know, but this is just Lane out-coaching the opposition, and once again, Lane knows it. Look at this. He even bumped into the sideline judge right here. He knows it. Wide the frick open for the game dagger. And it's honestly just very simple stuff. Delay as long as you possibly can. And one extra little added wrinkle into this, I believe this is Pugies, the defensive lineman, who is in here. So you're thinking it's a block, right, with the extra, tight end defensive lineman in the game. So that's some extra personnel eye candy, and that is such a good job right here to really sell that fake. I believe his name is Luke Schuhorn. Let me make sure I'm getting that correctly. But that's just how wide open that is, and that's what a great play caller could get. I got Luke Shoehorn. It's Caden Prescorn. Right, so this is why, you have to be aggressive on fourth down. You had 4th and 1 down 10-7 on your own 30. Now it's 1st and 10 down by 7. If I'm going into this game as an underdog, I want to win this game going out of my own accord, right? Either way, we get to this next play. Love this design, and I think this year Mississippi State underutilized Xavier Thomas. They were very lucky to get him back from the portal. RPO read, this is a really, really good read right here to pull this and throw to Xavier Thomas. And he's able to create a massive explosive play. All right, 1st and 10, we're running a smash concept, which is an underneath route right here and a corner behind it. His job is to read this player. If he jumps down on Xavier Thomas, you throw this corner route. It's thrown with a lot of anticipation and with perfect accuracy. It's really good stuff right there by Will. So Mississippi State, 10-point underdogs, and obviously they're down by 10, 8:20 left to go. And, yeah, everything that I've said up to this point in my career, evaluating Will Rogers and just being a media person, just came true on this play, okay? He's got a really good pocket, okay? It's a 3-man rush. Somebody eventually gets through. But you'll see on the replay here that he does have a shot deep down the field that he could have hit. And once again, Tulu Griffin, the ball hits his hands. It's a tough catch. You'd like to see him make it, but check this out. So it's drawn up for you on the screen right here, and this is why, all 22 should be available to all fans, so you could be able to see this. And it actually wasn't drawn up correctly. It was a tight end once again. So what's his name? Antonio Harmon. You saw the very first play of the game, he should have had a big catch, and now he should have had a big catch. In fact, he should have had quite a few big catches in this one. Now, why doesn't Will Rogers see him? Well, you got to remember, Mississippi State was a team that ran mostly 10 personnel, right? So now that, they've gone to more of a pro-style system, he's not used to seeing tight ends because Mississippi State normally didn't have them, right? But this long developing route across the field, this corner is the high-low read right here. It's a single high safety. So this should be open if this corner is backing down right here. And that should have been seen right there. I understand that there's a guy, breaking through right here. But you've got to be able to make this throw. But this is open. And it's got to be thrown. Okay, you complete this easy touchdown. Guess what? It is a 3-point game. So now we get to 3rd and 4, and we're running a Mike Leach staple. This is a variation of mesh, so 2 shallow drags with the mesh rail route to your best receiver, which is also your running back, Woody Marks. And you'll see that he eventually finds Xavier Thomas. Xavier does a good job slowing down just a bit because he doesn't feel anybody on him. And, man, if he throws to the tight end here, he's getting more yards, but good job getting the football in your playmaker's hands to pick this up, and you get a 1st down. So they actually called the rare offensive pass interference there. So now it sets up 3rd and Hattiesburg here. I mean, this is a very not good situation, and this was actually some really, really good coaching by Mississippi State to just take the yards and set up a manageable field goal when you're down by 2 possessions. So he hits Woody Mark here on the angle route. Obviously, this isn't as effective versus zone. Had to put it behind him because of this defender. So he does a good job falling forward, and it sets up a field goal attempt. And obviously, Mississippi State gets unfreaking believably unlucky here. He missed the first kick, and it was just off to the side. And then this one was just short. It hits the bottom crossbar. One thing I am shocked about is teams not putting a player back here to swat this just in case it's close. Is that even feasible? I mean, a guy would have to have like Victor Wembanyama hops, I guess. And this is total pain. Look at that. Bang. Bottom crossbar. And you'll see the kicker thought it was good. And that just hurts. It really, really, really hurts. All right, so Mississippi State was able to get a stop, and guess what happens? Well, Xavier Thomas happens. I mean, he was, outside of maybe Judkins and a few others, the best threat all night for either team. This punt return is abso-freaking-lutely Hollywood. It's crazy, absolutely crazy. And if you're a Mississippi State fan, you know all about him, okay? The punt coverage here is actually really freaking good. It does seem like everybody's in their lane. He stops. Then, I'm glad they didn't call this because that would have negated the punt return. That is a block in the back, okay? So they don't blow the whistle. It wasn't a whole lot of contact, but it was enough for me to blow it. But still, I'm glad they didn't because we hit the Dante Hall return here. Good job right there, not giving up on the play by 3. And now Thomas is cutting back this way, and this is probably the most absurd cut of it all. Look at this. Shakes him, and he's able to break the tackle of 49. 49 barely even touched him. It looked like he was a deep snapper, and you get an absolutely massive return, okay? So there you go. Get a quick score, and you're back in it. And now, for the 4th time in this game, 81 opens up, okay? It's cut off here, so I'm not for sure if he's wide open, but the running back is also open out of the backfield, and you see Will Rogers had a mini pocket to step up with right here. Now, it would have been tough because 2 is right there, but he could step up and actually throw on the run to somebody else, but this just isn't there. This deep out to Tutu Griffin, they were just on it all night, and that ball right there isn't even close, and they're not going to bail you out with the pass interference penalty. So once again, we do see 81 open on this in-breaker right here. I know it's a dangerous throw because it's short of the sticks, but you'll see right here, this crossfield throw is a very difficult one, and yeah, it didn't look like much for me to call pass interference there. So now we get to 3rd and 12. Spencer Sanders is in the game for Ole Miss, the fifth-year senior, okay? So obviously one of the best backups you could potentially have in all of college football. And this is actually just an option to Quinshon Judkins. And, man, it would have been nice from a Mississippi State perspective to not let Judkins get this and force Sanders to have to run on you. But the edge player plays the QB. He did a good job making that pitch. And to basically come in cold off the bench, to have an accurate pitch right there is really good. And Judkins isn't quite able to pick up the yards here. Now, it sets up one of the more creative 4th down play calls you'll see. It's a direct snap to a defensive lineman in J.J. McKee. He played some offense at his last stop in Auburn, and of course he's playing some offense here for Ole Miss. Big boy picks this up, and I believe Pegues is from Oxford as well, so he picks up this tough yard, and Ole Miss is able to salt it away. And in a second, you're going to see Jaxson Dart on a QB sweep to really salt this game away. Now, Jaxson Dart, as you guys saw, under 100 yards passing, a 40 QBR. Will Rogers, as you're seeing right now, was also not so great. Now, Jaxson Dart should come back next season. I don't think he has much NFL draft stock right now, and he should be the starter. And Ole Miss under Lane Kiffin gets another 10-win season. This is what should have happened. You were supposed to win by 10. That was the exact point spread, but your offense kind of sort of stunk. And look, Mississippi State at home in the Egg Bowl, even the Elijah Moore pissing game was, I believe, like a 21-21 kind of affair as well. So Watson and Jet Johnson, who both were really good, they're faked out right here by Quinshon Judkins, and obviously Jaxson Dart runs this thing on up in there for the W. So the only thing we'll probably remember about this ugly Egg Bowl was Greg Knox coming in on the four-wheeler. He said some bizarre things to Cole Kubelik about this being a life lesson and how to handle adversity. So Take that for what it's worth. This is the most Starkville thing, and I love it. But yeah, I always get excited about this game every year. So yeah, of course, the road team wins again in this one. And look, like we mentioned, Ole Miss didn't play their absolute best. I have a question, though, for Ole Miss fans that watch this. Is this your ceiling? Is 10-2 your ceiling? Because it feels like you got the absolute maximum out of this roster, right? You won all your 10 games, and your only loss, 2 losses, were to the 2 best programs of the past decade. So guess what? You might have maxed out. 10-2 might be where you are. And look, you might be content with that. I would be, considering I am Ole Miss. So is there somewhere else Lane Kiffin can go to reach a higher ceiling than this? I don't know. You guys tell me. Now, on the Mississippi State side of things, Will Rogers and the Bulldogs need to move on from each other, right? And more than likely, that is going to happen now with a new head coach coming in. But this might sound like me crapping on Will Rogers, but most quarterbacks transfer, right? And we did a video before the season on how rare it is for a quarterback to have not transferred yet in Will Rogers' position. We saw so many quarterbacks that were starters at their last place transfer to somewhere else, and they turn out to be a better QB at their new place, even though they were starters, right? So go somewhere new, get a fresh start, and find an offense that better fits your needs, because as you can see, he was a major factor as to why Mississippi State lost this game tonight. Obviously, if you're Greg Knotts and you're rolling in on a four-wheeler, why aren't you going for it on 4th down? You come in bold, at least go out bold, right? But still, Mississippi State just not a good football team at all this year. They did not, in my estimation, deserve to go 6-6 and go bowling. And I did have them under their 6 win total as well before the season. Their wins this year were ugly, okay, versus the actual Power 5 teams on their schedule. So it's going to be interesting what the future of this program actually looks like. So comment down below your thoughts on today's video. We got some videos floating in your face, so make sure you click it and check it out. Okay, it is Power Hour SEC. Boom! And tonight, oh yeah, we're doing some of that stuff and leftovers, baby. Late night. Let's go.